December 18, 1944. Near Gleize, Ardennes Forest, Belgium. Snow falls in thick, wet sheets, muffling the sound of engines as they idle beneath pine branches weighed down with ice. It is just before dawn. The forest smells of fuel, frost, and churned earth. Inside a steel giant painted in yellow and green camouflage, Oberfeldwebel Karl Körner tightens his gloves and leans forward in the commander's cupola. Beneath him, 45 tons of German engineering vibrate with restrained violence. This is Panzerkampfwagen Tiger Ausf B, the King Tiger, and it is about to move. The Birth of a Colossus, Germany, 1943. The idea for this machine began more than a year earlier in drawing rooms and factories deep inside the Reich. By 1943, Germany's armored forces were being torn apart by Soviet T-34s and American Shermans appearing in overwhelming numbers. Adolf Hitler demanded a tank that could dominate any battlefield, one that could destroy enemy armor before it could even reply. Designers at Henschel answered with excess. Thick, sloped armor. An 88mm gun longer and deadlier than anything before it. A tank built not for speed, but for absolute battlefield dominance. The Tiger II was born not as a compromise, but as a challenge to the world. Steel and firepower inside the King Tiger. Inside Körner's tank, the air is claustrophobic. Condensation drips down armor plates as the Maybach HL-230 engine growls behind a steel firewall. The crew of 5 knows their roles by heart. Driver, Unteroffizier Franz Meyer. Radio operator, Gefreiter Otto Weiss. Gunner, Lieutenant Hans Richter. Loader, Gefreiter Emil Braun. Commander, Karl Körner. The heart of the tank is the 8.8-centimeter KWK-43L71, capable of punching through over 150 millimeters of armor at a kilometer. Its shell weighs over 20 kilograms. When it fires, the tank doesn't recoil so much as shudder, as if the earth itself has protested. The frontal armor, up to 180 millimeters thick, is nearly impervious to Allied guns at normal combat ranges. If the King Tiger sees you first, you are already dead. Baptism of Fire, Normandy, July 1944. The first King Tigers entered combat in Normandy months earlier. Fields boxed in by hedgerows became killing grounds. At long range, American Shermans burned one after another, their shells bouncing harmlessly off the Tiger II's glacis plate. But the tank had flaws. It was heavy. It drank fuel voraciously. Its transmission groaned under its own weight. In narrow lanes of France, mechanical failures claimed as many King Tigers as enemy fire. But when the tank worked, when it reached open ground, it was untouchable. The legend grew. The Ardennes Gamble, December 1944. Now, in the frozen Ardennes, Hitler has gambled everything on one last offensive. Operation Wacht am Rhein. The goal, split the Allied lines, seize Antwerp, and force a negotiated peace. King Tigers are thrown into the spearhead. Körner's unit, Schwere Panzerabteilung 501, advances through snow-choked roads, crushing trees beneath their tracks. Infantry cling to the tank's sides for warmth and protection. Ahead, American forces dig in, unaware of what is coming. First contact, morning fog and muzzle flash. The fog lifts just enough. Richter spots movement through the gun sight. An American M4 Sherman hull down behind a ridge. Target 1,000 meters, Richter says calmly. Körner doesn't hesitate. Fire. The 88mm roars. The shell crosses the distance in seconds, slamming through the Sherman's turret front. The tank erupts in flame, its ammunition cooking off in violent bursts. The sound echoes through the forest like a hammer on an anvil. Another Sherman appears, then another. Each shot is deliberate. Each hit is final. You can feel it now, the imbalance, the fear, the sense that something unstoppable has arrived. Allied response, courage against steel. Allied tankers return fire. Their 75mm shells spark and ricochet off the Tiger II's armor, leaving only scars. Infantry call in artillery. Air support is requested, but the weather is unforgiving. The Tiger II advances slowly, methodically, its tracks grinding frozen mud into paste. A bazooka team crawls close, too close. Weiss swings the hull-mounted machine gun, cutting the trees apart with tracer fire. The snow around the Americans turns red. This is not just a tank. It is a moving fortress. Cracks in the giant, fuel and fate. But power comes at a cost. By afternoon, Körner receives grim news over the radio. Fuel shortages, bridges unable to support the tank's weight, broken transmissions abandoned along the route. Some King Tigers are blown up by their own crews, denied to the enemy not by defeat, but by logistics. The most powerful tank in the world is being starved. Still, in direct combat, none can match it. The Last Stand, Gleize, December 1944. Christmas Eve. American artillery pounds the village. King Tigers sit immobilized, their fuel gone. Körner's crew listens as shells crash around them, the armor ringing like a bell. They have destroyed over a dozen enemy vehicles. But now, the war has caught up. Orders come through. Abandon the tank. The crew sets demolition charges. Körner pauses, hand on the cold steel of the turret. This machine carried them through fire and snow, through fear and triumph. The explosion tears the tank apart. The King Tiger dies not in battle, but undefeated. Legacy of the King Tiger. When the war ends, Allied engineers examine the wrecks with awe. The armor thickness, the gun, the ambition. They agree on one thing. No tank of World War II matched the Tiger II in raw power. It was not the most practical, it was not the most numerous, but in firepower and protection, it stood alone. A symbol of what happens when engineering reaches for dominance without restraint. And in the frozen forests of Belgium, its tracks remain etched into history.